Hey guys, how are you this morning? I want to do a little video response to Onision and HappyCabbie and their videos on gun violence. I want to talk a little bit about something, and that is the nature of what a gun is. It's a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or evil. Either way, it's simply a tool, just a tool. What this weapon relies on is the human being operating it. Now, let me show you something. I also have a crossbow. I could use this to do something as well, although it doesn't have the power of a gun. I mean, for example, if I have an intruder in my home, say the intruder is over 300 pounds, hopped up on the drug of his choice, wearing suspenders, a high degree of facial hair because he doesn't bathe or take care of himself properly. Now let's say this guy is breaking into my home. Let's say I load the crossbow. Well, that's one shot right there. Takes quite a few seconds to reload the crossbow. And if I miss, that's going to be a problem. Now, let's say I decided to use a knife on this intruder. This knife is a very big, heavy knife. See that? It's a big, heavy knife. Now if I've got the intruder and I'm striking at him, what if he grabs it? What if he somehow wrestles it from my hand? What if somehow he gets it away from me, that it can be used against me? So this also doesn't have that much stopping power in regards to a quick end to the problem. Well, I mean, if I'm really lucky, I could, get him up there on his throat. But what if I'm, sticking him with it, and because he's over 300 pounds, it's just layers and layers of fat, which really doesn't bother him much. I mean, he'd think of it like he'd think of it as a free tummy tuck, right? So, with that said, I would be better off with something like this, because if I've got a over 300 pound intruder, 6 foot, wearing suspenders, unhygienic, hasn't bathed in God knows how long, and he's hepped up on whatever drug of choice he has. And I have this, which I believe it will hold, I forget how many shots it holds at once. I think 4 or 5. I'm probably wrong on that. I actually haven't fired this yet. I need to go out to the range sometime. I would basically aim it at the intruder. I would charge it, or whatever. And I would say to the intruder, back off. Don't do, get out of my house or I'll shoot you. Well, if the intruder didn't, then I would pull the trigger. And if he continued and got closer, I would once again and fire again. Although I'm pretty sure your average intruder would be, would stop at the sight of a gun. You wouldn't even have to really use it. Now, as far as handguns go, I probably need to get a handgun because those are much more compact. Because, if it's a small space like this room, there's not really, a lot of room for me to do much. So while this is a good tactical weapon to a great degree, it still does not serve the same function as a handgun. Oh look, a troll! Oh, got him! So... Now let's be serious for a second. The reality of it is a gun is just a tool. It is not the gun, it is the character of the person with the tool. You can have almost any object in your hand. For example, If a sociopath or a psychopath, say, let's use the example of the 300 plus, 6 foot, unhygienic, hasn't bathed in weeks, high on drugs, wearing suspenders, psychopath, he could take this weapon and probably kill somebody with it. But you're saying that's not a weapon, it's just a pen. If you're crazy, you can make this a weapon. You can, gouge somebody's eyes out. You can take out their throat. You can, stab their Adam's apple. You can do a lot of damage with just a pen. Most people aren't going to do that with a pen. Most people aren't going to use something like this to hurt somebody. Because, see, the reality of it is, folks, is it's not the weapon. It's the character of the person holding the weapon. If somebody wants to hurt somebody, they're going to do it with whatever weapon they can use. And yeah, a gun is a quick, effective way to do that. But it's also a quick, effective way of somebody protecting themselves. There's been lots of stories where women, who had, guns on them while they were jogging or just walking down the street, they were attacked and they were able to defend themselves because they had the gun. And because of that gun, they were able to fight off an attacker. That was huge. And some people say, well, if you've got a gun, it's because you're compensating. Yeah, most of the women I know who have guns are compensating for being smaller and weaker than most of the guys around them. That's reality. And why shouldn't they own guns? Why shouldn't they be able to defend themselves? See, if your safety is going to be dependent upon the kindness of complete strangers, there's going to be a situation where you're going to get hurt. But if you take your own safety in your own hands and learn proper firearm, rules and all this other stuff, what to do with a firearm, what not to do with a firearm, then, you're going to be that much safer. Now, again, with the character, most of the people involved in gun crimes come from the inner cities. And when I say gun crimes, I'm talking violent gun crimes, assault with a deadly weapon, home invasions, robbery, murder, rape, that kind of thing. Most people who do that are lower socioeconomic income brackets. Most of them just happen to be minorities. Most of them just happen to be children of single mothers. Most of them come from broken homes. Most of them come from, educational backgrounds where some can barely read and write. Somebody like Onision, if he had a gun, I'd feel perfectly safe because I know that he is a person of character. Whereas, in the hands of a 300 plus pound redneck wearing suspenders who is high on drugs every day, I wouldn't want that guy to have so much as a butter knife in his hands. Seriously. And I think we need to really understand that. I think that's really the basis of the whole anti-gun, pro-gun argument. And the fact that nobody else is talking about that really concerns me. Because it's not about the tool. It's about the character of the person wielding the tool. The character of the person who is possessing the gun and willing to use it for whatever purpose, whether it's a good purpose or a bad purpose. I know this video is long. It's a very intense topic. It's a very interesting subject, but I feel like that necessity of talking about character is lacking in this entire debate. I hope I've given you something to think about, and with that said, have a great day.